Hi everyone, I'm Vone Kevitz, knit and crochet designer for one-of-a-kind makers who dare to be original. It is Tuesday night at 8 p.m. I'm like live last night and live again tonight. And it's just because I have a few things to say. So if you're joining me, say hi. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what's been going on lately. And I got a message in response to my no diversity statement video yesterday. And it was a very good comment. And I wanted to respond to it a little bit because I've reflected on it all day and prayed on it all day. So I'm going to switch screens and go back and read that comment. A sweet friend of mine messaged me and said, not so much about the diversity statement issue, but I've been watching your videos as part of an effort to get all sorts of opinions on what's going on in the fiber community. I have not posted anything about it until now, nor have I made my views on it public, nor have I boycotted anyone on either side who doesn't share my views. I wish it were a civil discussion with all views shared, but I swear I'm having trouble with the who doesn't part of your video. I paused to ask this. Do you truly believe we live in a world where there are no people who hate certain segments of society? Marginalized people? Question mark. That there are those who believe those groups aren't their equal. The fiber world is not a monolith. That means not everyone in it is filled with love and respect for all, and people do discriminate. What about those people? That part of the video sounds very naive. So you're a Christian filled with genuine love for all, but many are not, capital letters. And that's a fact. So I woke up to that very smart, clever comment to my video yesterday, and I did much thinking about it. And this is how I responded to that comment. I know not every person loves one another. I know that this world is broken. This world is a broken world. I also know that if we keep focusing on what makes us different, we will keep focusing on our differences. I view humans as humans. I judge humans by the content of their character, not by their skin color or where they came from or who their partners are. I get to know each and every human that I interact with first, capital letters, first, before I form an opinion about them and before I decide if I want to spend more time or energy on them. Because I feel this way, I live this way, and I share this way. My message is that we are all humans. If more and more people remember that fact, then I really think that more and more people will treat each other as humans. That's when we forget that it's when we forget that the other person is human, then we start to treat them as less than human. I am just simply using my voice to remind everyone that we are all humans and to not forget that we are humans. That's what ultimately makes us all equal. And I haven't got a response back, but I'm not sure if I actually expect a response. And that just got me thinking all day long about this. And I'm going to come back to my screen. So that just got me thinking all day long about this. Hi for last night and hi for tonight. Hey, Andrea, so glad you can join. And it made me really think about this because I mean, she has a valid point. I don't like, I know that in my live yesterday, I spoke very um, abruptly about this situation, and it seems so not the right time to discuss this weird topic. You know, I almost wish that I hadn't ignored that first diversity um, topic last year. I so wish that I hadn't removed the poison and stepped away when I saw Karen Templer's blog last year, and all the vitriol that came as an aftermath of that. I so wish that I had this fire that I have right now back then, when the fire was coming in strong, when the fire was brewing, when the whole forest was going under. I wish I had this strength and this drive back then, but I don't. I didn't. I have it now, but I didn't have it then. And I stepped away, and then Ravelry happened, and I stepped away, and I did what I had to do, and I stepped away. And then with this green sock, that was when like it just sparked something in me, and I started to realize, I'm like, it wasn't me getting my message across, for people to get it. It was for me to get what is going on here, and it's something that I can't ignore. Clearly, I can't ignore it. And so, even in the midst of this crazy world epidemic that we're going through, like, this seems like such a non-issue. It's never an issue. It's never an issue. It's always been a non-issue for me. But it's a big issue for people. I get that. It's a big issue for people. So when I learned about that diversity statement on Saturday with my conversation with Marie, because she's now being attacked again, they're coming after her because they're the same people that were coming after her when she was defending Nathan from Sockmatician, because she didn't excommunicate him the way they wanted her to, just like they asked her for a diversity statement way before the blog, way before. So they were brewing over this topic a while ago. So they were asking all, like, just about anybody that was popular enough or something. So they were like bothering her, and she wasn't, you can't protect everyone else's water, only your own. Exactly. I know. And I think that's what woke me up from this morning's comment when she responded to me. Like, I get the fact that, like, not everybody feels that way. And there are people in the world who hate certain segments of society. And that was my point yesterday. That was so my point yesterday, about that there are people that way. And I'm like, and who could benefit from that? Hey, Eliana. And I was like, who could benefit from wanting to keep us separated, from wanting to keep pointing out our differences, from wanting to keep us like in our own segments, and treat people like with such special people. Somebody really beautiful responded that I absolutely love in my Instagram to that comment, because I made a post just on that response alone. And I just want to come back and read that real quick, because it was such a smart, clever way. I couldn't agree more, dear lady. We are called to love one another because he loved us in all of our imperfections and sinfulness and all the rest of it. Each one of us is unique and irreplaceable, no matter what we look like or where or who we came from. I don't believe in human supremacy, just divine supremacy. I love that line, and I couldn't agree with her more. I don't believe in human supremacy. And I think that's why it bothers me. It bothers me that somebody would call somebody a racist and then go around and say white people don't know how to apologize and doesn't think that they're racist. Like, that's not just one person gets to call another person, like not one group gets to call another person a racist, and then the other group doesn't get to use that word. Because they've been told that many times. They've been told. And I've never, and like I said, I've never like taken on these weird public fights before, but it is the people. It was not all people will be going to heaven. No. And that was that's why I said in my video yesterday, I'm like, I don't care what religion you are. Like, I don't care what creed you worship. I'm not going to treat you less of a human being based on your religion, based on your creed. I know who I love, I know who I serve, and I know where I'm going. At the end of all of this, I know this world is broken. I know this place is only my temporary home. I know all of that. And I'm confident in that. And it just had me thinking, because I remember when I did the green sock, and I was like telling everybody, please guys, don't move forward with that green sock movement, because you're kind of starting a movement with somebody that's hurt. You know what I mean? You've got somebody bullying somebody, and then that other person was so innocent and so brainwashed that she's apologizing publicly for liking green socks by mistake. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, nobody should ever have to feel like that insecure, and clearly she was, that she would apologize. And I said, that's not the right way you want to start a movement. We aren't supposed to judge, only those who are appointed to judge and God. Otherwise, we are judged with the same measure we judge. Exactly. I totally agree. So that's why I said it that way. I said, my message and my copy on these things is not because this is an issue. I think the reason why I came so strongly after the SJW is because they are attacking again. This is the first time I've ever talked about this issue. I've always been doing it like at the aftermath. I've never like really delved in the middle of it before. This is the first time where they've gone after 3 companies that I've seen this week, all like basically going after small business shops, attacking them for, doing exactly what their laws allow them to do. And then now they're like bullying them. And I'm trying to get them on and sharing their story, because it's wrong. It's wrong what they're doing, and it's people's livelihoods. These are people's lives that they're affecting. And it's not the right time. This is the world is going through so much right now that to be bullying and adding on top of it, it's just not the right time. And it is in my maker community. Somebody had mentioned, like, are we really a community? Because knitting and crocheting, we're doing it by ourselves. Like, it's a personal sport, right? Is it really a community? Like, so what are we like trying to save here? And do you not know we judge the world? It is written. Well, then who is it that's going to get people to get their salvation? If I'm not sure what you mean, are you if you're thinking, because when I say that I don't care what religion you are, I'm not going to treat you less than because you're not my religion, because you don't believe in the same thing I do. I'm not going to treat you any more special or not enough of, or like, don't get me wrong. I do my best to live by the word. I do my best to live by the word of God, and I can only do my best to live by example. And the way I preach is how I live. You know what I mean? I'm not going to preach to somebody and say, do this, do that, do this, do that, or else. That's not the way I preach. I preach by example. I live and I do my best to live like Jesus Christ would. What would Jesus do is the best way that I live my life. And that's the way I preach. I can only hope and pray that they will be touched and moved by my example, not my words, by my example, by my actions, by how I treat people, by how I live, by my standards. I can only be my best version. And that's what I do. And I won't be, does that make sense? I don't know if that's what you're asking, Eliana, or if that's what you're alluding to, or if I'm just completely talking sideways here. But when the reason why I committed so much this year to that I said I won't leave where this is, because when I came out strongly about that after that green sock thing, there was somebody that was like attacking them, attacking a bunch of knitters and crocheters, and they were like basically saying like, oh, they don't matter, they're just Jesus loving moms, they don't matter, their voice doesn't matter. And to me that was just like, no, you literally just came in, buddy, you just came in. And that makes me sad. That makes me sad. So to go back to the point of like, are we a community? You know, because we're saying like, because I want to remove the cancer inside our knitting community. I want to remove it. There's such a toxic thought brewing inside the community, and it's everywhere. I get it. I'm not naive to the world. I get that it exists. Racism exists. Inequality exists. Like, there are people that are bigots. There are people that are all that. Just like there are thieves, just like there are murderers, just like there are all kinds of evil in this world that we will never understand. I will never understand. Just like there are serial killers, just like there are all kinds of horrible, evil people in the world. I get it. I know they exist. And I can't do anything about all of them. You know what I mean? I can't do anything about all of them. But what I can do is, with the people that I engage with online, I've reached out and I formed a Dare to Be Original Facebook group so that I can have knit and crochet and creative friends online, because I don't know many people that knit and crochet in real life around me in my neighborhood. Like, I don't know many people. I try to teach as many as possible, but I don't know any. And I've learned that through the magic of the internet, I can have a whole bunch of friends that are so creative, and I'm inspired by them. And I've grown to really care about you all. Like, I've grown to, that I interact with humans on a human level authentically. I don't follow to follow. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't play those games where I just try to grow my numbers. I don't play any of that. When I interact with you, I'm trying to get to know you, you know? And then when I get to know you, I become a friend of you, you know, a friend of yours, and I grown to care about you guys. And so when I see somebody getting attacked or bullied or pushed or prodded or just, when I see injustice, I want to help. When somebody reaches out to me and is like, that really bothers me, I'm really hurt, I don't know what to do, I feel so alone, I just want to reach out and go, you're not alone, you're not alone, you know? And that's what they were doing when they were like really attacking people. When they were attacking Maria from Tuscan Knits, like, her livelihood got threatened. A lot of like businesses that she partnered up with pulled away from her. So that means her paycheck and the food on her table, like, the rent, those things got affected. Just like with the Blue Mouse, where she's like, I'm gonna go get a day job now because this creating pattern lifestyle I was so good at, but these people are so mean now. They've robbed my joy. I don't even want to do this anymore. Like those are real people, real feelings, you know what I mean, that got really hurt because they felt alone and unsupported. Because the people that attack you, it's brutal. If you don't know, he commands us to stop their wicked. He commands us to people to stop their wicked ways. Yeah, he does. But not everybody listens. So it really had me thinking today. It really had me thinking that why am I supposed to type he commands us to tell those people to stop their wicked ways? Exactly. So that's all I can do. All I can do is if I see something wrong, normally we wouldn't do it. We wouldn't say it. We would just keep it to ourselves. We would be like too scared. And some of them, because some of them come attacking as drones, man. They come in a full force. There's like one on top of the other and they pile on. It's just like Marie what Skane says, they just pile on one after another, and then you just feel like so beaten down. You just like all of a sudden you just want to shut everything off. If you've ever been the target of any of that, and it's not fun. And so it made me really like think about this. And I was like, that's when it just something really clicked to me. And I'm like, yeah, I get that there are not nice people in the world. I get it. So I'm not saying when I say you don't need a diversity statement, I mean you don't need it because it's wrong. Somebody pointed out, actually, businesses have been using diversity statements since the beginning of time, since entrepreneurship ever even existed, is when they created a sign that just said welcome. When you open your business, you open your doors for business and they say welcome, the big welcome mat, the big welcome sign, welcome. That's for everyone. That's for everyone. And so maybe that's probably the only diversity statement that I think a business needs is the word welcome. Because anything other than that, you're pointing out everybody's differences, and then that makes you wrong. So I decided to, so it just got my wheels rolling. So I'm like, so not only am I talking to people, I just realized like my copy is totally different now, because not only am I talking to people to say, okay, if it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm going to say it. And then I'm going to get some friends that be like, yeah, that's right. You're right. Because true equality is true equality. True justice is true justice. When it's universal, if it's not true for everyone, then it's not true for one. If it's not true for one, it's not true for everyone. Like it has to be that. And like there are no exceptions. Remember, there's no supreme humans, just divine supremacy. No human supremacy, just divine supremacy. His disciples went. His disciples, students, did everything you are saying not to be doing. Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist, bigotry doesn't exist. I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm also telling you that it doesn't have to be that way, and not everybody is. That was my original point. My original point to come on here is like, not everybody is racist. Not everybody is a bigot. Just like Ravelry said in their policy, all Trump supporters are open white supremacy, are support for open white supremacy. No, that's wrong. That's very wrong. Not everybody is. So not all people are. So how you navigate between those two is there's a big middle somewhere. There's a big middle somewhere. And in that big middle is that you choose better. So if you are that, if you have a limitation of that, if you feel like, if you have this divide, that if you don't truly believe that everybody is equal and you have a little bit of toxic thought in there, then you need to choose better. Just like if you think that there are people that are, just like if you think that you're a victim of it and you want to blame everybody else for being racist when, you know what I mean, towards you, or you're the victim, you need to choose better. Because remember, nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. Words are only words. They only have power when you give it power. Words are only words. Words are as clear as this glass of water. They are as benign as this glass of water, and they only have power when you give those words power. So if people are using words that you do not like, you can change it. That's up to you. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. So then I realized so in my channel, that's what I'm devoting this channel to. That's what I was devoting. I will be still making, I will still be sharing stitches, and I will be releasing patterns, and I'm still going to talk about all the things, you know, still working on socks. I'm still, you know what I mean? I'm still on my quest for all that. Like, I'm still doing all that, but it's going to be, the reason why I'm talking a lot about SJWs this week, the social justice warriors, because they are attacking small businesses. They are attacking yarn companies right now that have gotten permission to stay open, and they are being mean, and they're being like cruel. They're being cruel, you know, and I'm just here to use my voice and say, no. And then I just learned about that ridiculous diversity statement policy where they were demanding everybody last year to put out a diversity statement to say that you support this group of people and you support that group of people. And if you don't say it, then you're shunned, because that would make you a racist. But by doing so, you are pointing out their differences. And that's why I said, no, I don't believe in a diversity statement, because if I do, then that would mean I put value in the color of somebody's skin, and I don't care what they look like, not even a little bit. So why would I say I support this type of person if you look like this, if you look like that, or if you believe in this, or if you're gay or not gay? Like, I don't care. I don't care. None of that matters to me. You know what matters to me is your heart and your mind, and if you're a good person, and if you're kind, and if you're courteous, and if you want to do better, if you want to help and uplift people, those are the people that I care about. Those are the people I'm like, come on over. That's just like my inclusion post, when I said, you know, I'm not going to include you if you're mean. I'm not going to include you if you're not nice. I'm not going to include you if you're unkind. And if you have ill intentions, I'm definitely not going to include you. If you have a malice heart that you are here to hurt and destroy people's lives, I'm definitely not going to include you. And I'm not going to do it because somebody tells me I need to. You know, like the BIPOC community, where they're like, only this group of people should be included. Everybody, like it's only include people that are good. If they're bad, don't include them. You shouldn't feel pressure to. That just makes no sense, you know? Just like racism. You know, like that big word. They love to call everybody racist. Everybody's a racist. If you like look at somebody the wrong way, you're a racist. I'm like, no, if I voted for Trump, I was an open white supremacist. I'm a pro-life voter. I'm trying to shut Planned Parenthood down. You know. I just want to tell you, facts. Here's some facts for you. Here's some facts for you, pretty people. Okay. Lifeline Child. This is from the worldometers.info, www.worldometers.info, where they list worldwide deaths from January to April. January 1st to April 1st. Worldwide deaths. So since the beginning of this year to the 1st of April, the deaths. COVID-19, 46,000. I'm just going to do the thousand. I'm not going to do the tail end of the hundreds, right? COVID-19, 46,000. Seasonal flu, 121,000. Malaria, 246,000. Suicides, 269,000. Traffic fatalities, 338,000. HIV/AIDS, 421. These are all the people that died from January to April thus far. Alcohol, 627,000. Smoking, 1,254,000. Cancer, 2,060,000. Hunger, this is 2020 and people are dying of hunger. 2,806,000 has died of hunger since January to April 1st of this year. Only 4 months, right? Actually, that's 3 months, because if it's only the 1st of April, that's only the end of March. We haven't even hit April. 3 months. These are the deaths. Abortion, 10,665,000. We shut the world down. Countries have all shut down. We're closing up economy left and right. We've shut America down because COVID-19 was only 46,000 deaths. But abortion for the last 3 months, 10,665,000 people. 10,665,000 innocent baby lives that never got born. So because I try to fight that 10 million number, Ralphie called me an open white supremacist. See how easily it is that we can call each other racist? And I can only... So no, I'm not naive to the evils of the world. I'm well aware of the evils of the world. I'm just using my voice to try to lessen that evil, to educate that evil. So if I see something wrong, I'm going to say it. And having a diversity statement is wrong. I'm going to say it. If you're an Asian designer that says only white people can pay and the rest are free, I'm going to let you know. There was like 10, 20, I don't remember her number because she made her account private. It was like, how many people following her? Tens of thousands of people following that, reading that, going, yay, I'm white, I'll pay. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you people? That's the kind of thinking that needs to change. That's the kind of thinking that people need to choose better. They need to choose better. I don't know what company they're keeping, but they need to choose better than that, because that's wrong. So yeah, so on my YouTube channel, I've started a new playlist, and it starts with my diversity video. And there's 12 videos that I've added onto that playlist, so it's easier. So it's all the new people that try to find me. They're like, what is she talking about? Why does she change her copy like this? This is why. For the longest time, I have devoted this channel to talking about bettering ourselves, to improving ourselves. I'm all about self-improvement. I have billions of books out the wazoo that I'm reading my Audible is ridiculous. Like my bookshelves are ridiculous, and they're all about self-improvement. They're all about it. Is trying to be my best version, to show up my best version, to live my best life. And how do I do that? How do I? And then when I do, when I learn it, when I figure it out, I share it. When I'm trying things, I share it. Stop. That's enough. That's enough. I don't know what's going on with you two. Stop. Stop. And I see now where like this, there's such a divide. There's such a divide. But what we can't have divide is our maker community. What I never thought I would see was the divide in our maker community, because I never saw it. I was in it for 4 years, blissfully having friends and this community. And yes, it is a community. Somebody's like, are you sure it's a community? Because it's like a lonely sport. I'm like, no, when we choose to engage with my friends online, they're my friends. Some of them, I talk to them like every day. They're like in my head. They're my BFFs. The only difference is that they're like 15 hours away from me if I was to travel and see them. But I love them and I care for them greatly. That's a community. I have a Dare to Be Original Facebook group with 1,000+ women. That's a community. And I try very hard to cultivate that environment where we love hard on each other. There are no rules in that group other than be kind and courteous to one another, support each other, love on one another. Don't be mean to each other. That's just common sense, first grade stuff, first grade lessons in life, But outside of that world, I can't control. But what is within my control is me talking about it and me constantly showing it and sharing it and be like, you guys, if something's wrong, we're gonna uproot it. And worse yet, it's not just the people being mean to one another. People actually believe this stuff. They actually believe this toxic thought. That marginalized, when she questioned, like, what do you mean by marginalized person? That's in every, like, not in every, that's a misspeak right there. I've seen so many copy on things where the BIPOC community, where they treat themselves as if they're less than. So then, or is it because people treat them less than, or do they feel like they're less than? Because you remember what I said, that's the rule, right? Nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. People can call me all kinds of names. The only time it hurts is if I believe it. The only time it has power is if I believe it. People can call me stupid. They can call me all kinds of things. But guess what? I don't believe it. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm learning and growing every day. I'm a freaking smart person. I know a lot. And if I don't know it, I work very hard to find out, because the fear of the unknown is my worst. How old were you when you accepted the Lord? What year was it? I grew up raised as a Catholic, but I didn't come to know Jesus Christ until I was dating my husband. So about 20 years ago is when I really got to know Jesus and start developing a relationship between me and Jesus. Before that, when I was 16, my mother got me a cross anchor, a charm, an anchor with Christ on a crucifix on the cross. But it was an anchor and it was a necklace charm. And I kept losing that charm. And every time I would lose it, it would be like my world had ended. And then I would be the only one that finds it. And I found it in right before my daddy was about to vacuum up the thing. I found it an hour away from our house in gravel. I found it on the street from my cousin's house where the street sweeper pushed it off to the other side of the street at the end of a school day. and it almost fell down the gutter. We shut down a department store when I used to work at Hills at the department store during Christmas time, like it was like Christmas Eve, and I lost the charm there, and we had the whole store looking for it, and nobody could find it, and I found it because it's always a little glimmer of light, always a little glimmer. And then I started to realize that every time I would lose that charm, it was when I was pulling away from God. And I was the only one to find it, and I was the only one to ever see that shimmer of light. And now whenever I lose it, I know that I won't, it's never really lost. I will never lose that charm because that has been my proof with the Lord. And since then, he has proven himself over and over. He has shown himself to me over and over again. I can share billions of stories of how God is so real in my life, how Jesus is so real. That's why in my bio on Instagram, Jesus is my BFF. Over and over again, he has proven it to me. And this is where he wants me right now. So this is where I'm fighting. It's not a choice that I'm making. Trust me, it's not a choice I'm making. But I'll tell you one thing. I think it's why I'm Asian. I think it's why I'm a minority. I think it's why I have the voice that I have. It's to be used right here, right now, for this maker community, to shed light in an area where it's getting darker and darker, because the evilness has got to stop inside of our maker community, and it does start with a divide, because there is like a minority group that's coming out saying that, but it's wrong, because it's not universal. They say one thing, and then they exclude everybody else, and that's not right. So that's why I did that Ravelry video. That was the hardest video in my life. I could have easily left without doing that Ravelry video, but I knew so many friends that felt what I felt, but felt like they didn't have a voice in saying so. There were a lot of people that fought for those 10 million babies that die every day by the stroke of a magical pen. By the stroke of a pen. I'm a firm believer. If we don't value life at this stage, we won't value life at any stage. If we don't value life and we like sign a piece of paper that says, go ahead, kill your bloodline, we as a civilization will always falter, and we will always fall. We won't value life. If we don't value life there, we have to start valuing life there. And I use my voice to do my best to help share that message and go, we need to value life at that stage. We need to give those voices a chance to speak and live out their lives. God knows how many amazing human beings were in that 10 million just on this year alone. Just on this year alone. 10,665,000 aborted already during the whole shutdown, during when the whole planet has completely been isolated and social distancing. We still, as a human race, managed to murder 10 million children. What? Like, that blows my freaking mind. So no, I'm not naive to the evils of the world. I'm not. The evils of the world is very clear to me. And I have to do my best to try to stop it. Wow, I did not think I was going to be on an hour on my little soapbox rampage here, but clearly I had something to say after all. So yes, I have a new playlist. It's Choose Better. And so follow along it if you so choose. And I will be adding more videos to this topic. And I chose this title very clearly. It's not about diversity. It's not about the injustices. It's not about SJWs. It's not about anything. It is just any topic that's hard that we need to plow through. I'm going to address it. And especially if it has to do with the maker community. And this week it does, because they attacked 3 yarn companies and more, probably more. I'm not aware of, because I'm not following them. I'm not chasing the SJWs. I'm not chasing all the bullying and all the attacks. It's only when people share it with me that I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? That's not right. I'm going to use my platform to say that's not right. You know, and if something's different, I'm going to use my platform to speak about that difference. You know, and we need to be better. We need to be better. Of all the times in the world, this is the time we need to be better. You know. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm going to go do the dishes, and then I'll probably be silent the rest of the week, because I do want to finish this Phoebe pattern. I really do want to finish this Phoebe pattern. And then I'm going to need some testers. And then I want to finish this sock, because I got to figure out how to make this heel on this two slippers, at the same time. I'm going to figure out how to do that afterthought heel. And then I'll come back on Saturday, and hopefully we can talk a little bit more about this thought about marginalized human beings, because everybody thinks like they are less than what they are. So we need to figure out how to get you so confident in yourself that words don't hurt you. And not only that, I'm not just talking about the people that actually listen to me and follow me. I'm talking to SJWs themselves, because they truly believe this. And that's so wrong. They truly believe that there needs to be like a divide and a special exemptions for human beings, and there's not. Oh, Andrew, you'll test how many yards? I don't know. Let's see. This is yarn from Savvy Skeins, and I don't know if you'll be able to, but she basically sent me 2 yarns, and she sent me 3 skeins. She sent me 2 of these blues and then 1 of the dark brown or the gray. It's like a grayish. My yellow light makes it look brown, but it's actually like dark charcoal. And it is so soft. It is so soft. And then you wear it like a cape. You could wear it like a cape, or you could wear it like a wrap. And then it shows you how to do, I call it faux cabling, but there's probably a whole other formal word for it. But thank you so much for testing. Is that her Simply Sock yarn? You know what? I am not positive. I have her stuff. Oh, here. We have our Senko Farms. This is Savvy Skeins card. Where's her? I think. Oh, I don't want to lose my Mary scarf. It's in there somewhere. Oh, you know where it's? You know it's at? It's in my box. It's in my box up there. I have the whole packet. I have the whole packet for her. So when I finish, when I get this typed up and send it to you, I'll let you know exactly what size this yarn is. And I believe I used, I don't remember the exact hook. I procrastinated on this pattern, but I definitely want to finish it up and get that going to you guys. Galilee Life also has a huge announcement coming up. We're trying to finalize the details right now, but there's a big giveaway coming up, so you guys have to look out for that. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff going on. I don't want to keep talking about all the evils of the world, but you know, here we are. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I will see you Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully by then I could share my sock and show you that I did the afterthought heel. And then once I get that mastered, I can't wait to show you guys how to do it. You've had it nearly a year. I know. I know. I'm well aware of how long I've had this pattern hanging on in my head and not sharing it. I'm well aware. That's the evil that I'm used to fighting. That's the evil that I'm used to fighting. That creative, you know, the enemy that keeps us from creating. That's the evil. That procrastination is the enemy I'm used to fighting. This other one with the crazies of the world, it's not coming naturally to me. So I'm really having to fight that fight. But this is the kind of fight I'm used to fighting and losing too, but trying very hard to beat. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna, you know, I'm gonna remember this. You've had it for a year. This is the one I'm gonna leave it at, and that should finish me off to finish. This should help motivate me to get it, to choose better and live a better life. All right. God bless. Have a good night. Bye.